Well, hey there, Modern Math Teacher family. It's your host, Kristen Moore here. Welcome back to another episode of the Modern Math Teacher. It's that time of year again. The holiday season is about to be in full swing. And if you're like me, and you probably are, you're balancing all the chaos in your life inside and out of the classroom. With so much going on, it is easy for our students to get distracted and for us as teachers to feel completely overwhelmed. But today, and as always, I've got your back. I'm here to share some easy real world math applications that require minimal prep on your part, but will keep your students engaged and learning. These activities connect math to students' everyday lives. They are real, they are relevant, they are rigorous, my friends. That makes them perfect for the holiday season when attention spans can be a little, holiday focused. All right. So, first things first, let's talk about why real world math is such a game changer, especially when the holiday craziness is in full swing. You know, when your students see how math applies to the world around them, they're more likely to stay engaged in the learning. This is especially critical during this time of year when everything outside the classroom is just vying and pulling for their attention. Real world math is going to help your students make connections between what they're learning and their actual lives. That relevancy connection we're always going for. But, it's not just about keeping them focused, it's also about giving them practical tools that they can carry with them long after they leave our classrooms. So they have a real understanding of when they might ever need to know this. Now, let's dive in to the fun stuff. Here are three real world math activities you can easily bring into your classroom over the next few weeks. Activity number one is Thanksgiving budgeting, or really any holiday meal budgeting. I want you to consider having your students create a budget for a Thanksgiving meal. They are going to need to research recipes first, find the ingredients, research their prices, calculate savings, and figure out the total cost. This is a great way for your students to practice percentages, unit rates, and multiplication, all while connecting math to something that they can actually relate to, a big holiday feast. And again, I love this because it doesn't matter what holiday your students are celebrating this November and December, everyone has a holiday that focuses on food. Plus, this can spark really interesting discussions with your students and their families about how families manage holiday expenses. And you can bring in a cultural aspect and share about the different festivities and feasts that you and your students engage in during this time of year, helping everyone to feel included in your classroom. Next up, let's talk about something that isn't quite so holiday specific, but is absolutely on everyone's mind come December. That is the Black Friday deals. Oh, I remember days when I used to live to go Black Friday shopping, and I love the internet, but I do miss the craze of that just a little bit. Or when Cyber Monday was really Cyber Monday, and I would have to wait for that exact item I wanted in Amazon to drop. Ooh, oh, I was glued to my phone those days, just like kids are to TikTok these days. Anyway, let's talk about how we can use Black Friday because it is a big deal. So, why not turn it into a learning opportunity? For this, you can give students a list of different hot ticket items. Make them items that your students are going to be interested in getting themselves. Okay. Then ask them to calculate sales prices after different discounts are applied. You can even have them do this between different stores so they can see what's the better deal. In fact, that might be what I would name that task. What's the better deal? And they can look at the different stores and the different um, uh, items that you are having them research, right? So they're going to figure out how to calculate the sales price after the different discounts are applied. And you should, if your state uses sales tax, throw in taxes for good measure. That gives you a real world task tying in percentages and money management skills. It's something they have probably seen their families do, and now they get to do the math themselves. All right. Last up, let's talk about how we can take a trip this holiday season and get some math experience. We're talking about some holiday travel math. So, whether it is a road trip to go visit grandma or you're flying to visit your family across the country, holiday travel involves a lot of different math calculations. I think You could ask your students to use maps or online tools to calculate the distance between two cities and figure out the time of travel. You can also compare different travel costs, like the gas it would take for driving versus buying plane tickets, and see what's the better option. This activity is going to give your students hands on practice with unit rates, multiplication, and time calculations. So, another fantastic activity to do in the middle school classroom. Now, I know the last thing you want during the holiday rush is more work. So, while those three options are fantastic, I want you to go away with a couple of tips to make these manageable. Here are a few ways that you can keep these activities as low stress as possible because we want high engagement for students and low stress for you. First up, my friends, I need you to keep it short. Okay. These do not have to be long, drawn out projects. You don't have to go into a full giant PBL with it. You could do a simple 15 to 20-minute activity, and that can pack just as much punch as a full period lesson when it's tied to real world applications. Now, in addition to keeping it short, I want you to use your digital BFF tools, okay? If you're crunched for time, and let's be real with ourselves, we all are, okay? Using digital tools like Google Forms, online calculators, and even budget apps can all streamline these different tasks for you and your students. Plus, students tend to stay engaged with tech based learning, and it saves you from a mountain of grading. So, win win all the way around. Let's use our tech BFFs to help bring these to life. Okay. And lastly, let's incorporate some class discussions. Your students want to be chit chatting this time of year anyway. So instead of grading every single piece of work, okay, turn it into a class discussion. Have your students share their strategies, compare their results. This is going to keep it really light on you, but it still gives them the chance to reflect and solidify their learning. All right, my friends, there you have it. Real world math applications that will keep your students engaged while lightening your workload. Guys, this is such a win for everyone. You know, the holiday season can be so overwhelming, but these tasks make it easier to connect math to their lives with all the low prep stress relief that you want, right? So try one of these out this week and see how your students respond. Make sure you let us know all about it over in the Modern Math Teachers Facebook group. Share what you're doing with your students there. And if you're looking for some more holiday themed activities that will save you time and energy, go check out my TPT store. I have a few things up right now and a few more in the works that might just drop in time for this podcast to be released. But you've got to check out the Gift Wrap Challenge and the Winter Holidays Around the World project. I'll be doing episodes on these so you get more insight into the projects, but go add them to your cart right now. All right? Woo. All right. As always, you guys, keep making the real world connections. And as always, keep it real.